So I'm supposed to work on this video for some time now, but whoo, child! I just watched the Jackson video, and I was like, bruh, it remind me why, and remind me and have me confirming or reassuring myself that I am going to be obedient to God when it comes to the don't follow anybody rule, because who, child? I mean, back when they're describing some timelines of relationship problems, when I was using his videos, as in Derek Jackson's videos, to get at my ex, like I think I mentioned his name before, Craig, but bruh. And I remember he was like, no, this guy is sus. But I felt like, yeah, the ex of course is sus too. But I felt like he was, at the time, he was just trying to swerve his, accountability. But I wonder if, like, similar type of men can tell them, tell when another guy is sus too. But it's irrelevant. The point is, this guy be ratting himself out. And if it's not just ratting himself out, there's so many people who are secretly doing things that just, I'm human. I can't know shit. I don't know shit. And I ain't approving any shit. In fact, there's no loneliest person ever thing. I am accepting in strides. Cause, bro, it's not just because, people are flawed. Yeah. I am flawed too. I don't know why God called me perfect. Well, those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. But it's not about that. It's the fact that people try to use me now to justify their actions. And I'm like, nah fam, that's not happening out in these streets. Nah fam. So, yeah. Like, for example, the government. I'm pretty sure there was a time they paused with their attacks, and then they come back again, and then they pause again. It's almost like the fear of death keep coming, and they eat at them, and then they feel like they're out of it, and there's no way that they're going to die. They feel that way. They come back again, whether it's the people them government or the people them behind them who appear them or the crusty king. It's irrelevant as who is the motivator, but it's ups and downs. And I'm pretty sure at one point they were hoping I would just smile and say, oh, good job, and have my approval justify their actions so they continue with their fuckery. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. And I accept it. Now, I was gonna wait I don't know if it's wait between now and the end of this month. There'll be some revamping, restructuring as I lean into what God called me. So God called me queen. However, when I am queen, when I'm exhibiting this role, I am not going to be stiff-lipped, perfect. You don't even know what me have. This is shots. This. Yeah. No. However, there needs to be some structure, because there is time for when I am being real, me, authenticity, natural me, sharing, just for sharing's sake, and then there's me for being queen and the responsibility of running the country. Or even if it's not running, it's representing the people or being their representative and doing my part and role and that responsibility and that space. As much as I want to do that on the office account, which is Office of Queen Danielle, every platform that has Queen Danielle, that'll be the Office of Queen Danielle. However, the office should represent what I do, but not necessarily be my voice. So still on my channel, Dennis will be my voice for everything. So I need to organize it all. And I need to figure out how I'm going to structure it, whether it's here on YouTube, because if I'm going to do, because I know I walked away from Tumblr. I am playing games, as I said, with the whole not following anybody. It's the same with even companies, individuals, systems, religions. I will walk away, hence have my own religion called Kingdomer. Even if it's just me in that religion, I am working with that. That is run by me. However, there is no company, individual, structure, or even government that is even the party that I will lean and unwaveringly support, because y'all are human. I'm human too, so I know how y'all stay. Y'all motherfuckers will flip or pretend to be doing something when in the background you're not, or you're trying to hide something. And I don't support that. I will support you when you're doing the right thing, but I ain't no fan that will support you when you're doing wrong. So I will drop your motherfucking ass. Every last one of y'all. Whether it's a pastor, individual, structure, company, any one of those fucking things. I'll even make my own lane if I have to. Hence, Kingdomer. And that is all because God know that the church ain't right. Not even the whole religion just need to be scrapped in a sense, because they've been using his name to justify a lot of wrongs. So he's like, Danielle, I trust you. Do you. And do it. Start a new religion. Bruh. So I left Tumblr. No longer would be writing there. But and honestly, from Twitter days to Tumblr days, I've grown from it. I've become a better writer, to the point where I was speaking to someone. No, I was reading one of my posts to someone she called me like, you college girl and you well educated, and she basically don't really see herself as that kind of like to read kind of person. So she really not on the same level like me, not necessarily in the sense of quality. I'm not saying she's less than, but in the sense that she's not book. She don't run to books. That's what I would want to say. Let's use that phrasing. As I don't remember what she would normally say, but it's basically saying I'm a college girl, which I've only been to university once, or a university girl, and she's not calling herself that. And she kind of just, right? That's how she approached it. So I was reading one of my posts, and she's like, yo, it's like a book when I read it. Which made me realize I've developed a skill from my tweeting and tumbling. So I was like, that's good. So I do want to continue the writing. I just don't know what God and I are going to do. Whether God wants me to just focus on the book. So all my writing would be taken to the book, and barely any other than, remarks will be made on like Facebook. Or I'm going to create a blog and a website and do all of that there. It's all not sure what's going to happen, but in the next couple of days, it will be finalized and made certain. But I do like the writing. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. If it's going to be continued free access there like that, or start the books. Because there is the books on religion, then the books on relationship, maybe. I don't know. And then the books on my life, whether it's before this journey, after this journey, and onward. Yeah. So we're revamping. It's time for something new. I'm coming out of, as those who have been following me on Tumblr know, this is my vacation month. So every year is divided up. I'm looking for my notebook. Okay. Now I got the book, and I want to explain what's going to happen going forward and more. All right. So with all the responsibilities that God have put on me, I had to be like, God, how I'm gonna do all of that? Because I'm gonna have a business. I have a spider web of business that I want to develop, grow into big things. And if I'm gonna do that, then I'm going to also have to represent the people, whether it's of Jamaica or the other countries that God said I'll be queen of, and be ruling queen in a democratic sense. It's always in a democratic sense, in the sense that you, like God, because God is always of free will, he just knows better, and you can freely accept his choice. So I'll be representing the people and God for towards the people in the sense of the guidance. And people will freely choose to let God guide them as me being queen, as well as let freely choose to accept God's instructions. So so it's not always that it will be God, because God trusts me with things on my own to say, yeah, do that. And there's some things, like even in the business spider web, that God himself said, no. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. I see you and I trust you, but you don't got my eyes, and I see something you don't see yet, and I don't want it to be too late. So add this, do this, build this. So there are things that God is going to definitely tell me, and there's things that God trusts me to be for the good of the people and all. So to freely be able to can do that job, run the businesses, because it will be a self-sufficient monarch. So it won't be paid out of the pockets of the government or the people, as in their taxes. The only thing that would be paid for would be not necessarily full security, but the military part of things, where now, we are living now in Jamaica, the military is actually under the king, the crown's rule. They are under their jurisdiction. So, and that is for the protection of the country. So for me to protect the country, I still need that access, which I'd use segments into different parts for many different reasons. One, to protect the country and the crown. So that's the only thing that would actually, from the government's pocket, that would be towards me, but that's partial. It's for the protection of the country as well. Everything else, other than, say, which I've come to this decision recently, if I need to go be somewhere, you have to pay. If you're coming to me, it's all free. So for example, if I have events at the palace that I'm designing, or at any structure or building or business or individual organization that I create, if you have to come to me, whether it's something I'm freely giving or doing or sharing, it will be free. However, if I have to come to you, you will pay for all the expenses, travel, and stipend. So that's the most it would be regards to paying me. Everything else I have to survive on my own, like I am now. God provide. And that is what this monarch would be. So if I have to provide for myself, I have to make sure these businesses are running well and doing great, or doing the right things. Because if it's also under my umbrella, I'm going to make sure these people aren't enslaving people, or not giving them their time off, or overworking them and underpaying them, or taking advantage of the workers, whether it's sexually, physically, whatever it may be, stealing. I want to make sure my businesses are a good example as well. So I gotta get time for that. I have to have time for the government, the people, and I have to have time. The government, the people, business. What else? Oh yeah, and the time for me. And time for me means time for my family and whoever I marry, if I marry, and my children, the children that I want to adopt, or children I actually give birth to. So how am I gonna do that? And this is for the rest of my life, and then God is saying I'm not dying, so I can't even say it's a short life, it's a long life. It's up till say 75 or 105 or 125 years of me running countries. And if I am not structured well and I do not have breaks and set up boundaries, because that's the next thing I've learned very well, how to set up boundaries, whether it's boundaries for what I will allow from the people to do to me, or allow from the people to say to me, or allow to people to interaction. I'm not saying they can't touch on with you or come with thing, but I mean the boundaries. If I'm at home and I just want to relax, leave me alone, type of thing. So I had to set up a structure. Oh yeah, and then I forgot the big one, kingdom. But that one, I don't even have a structure within the structure. I think God is just gonna guide me on that. So if I'm on vacation month and God say go deal with the religion stuff, I'm going to deal with the religion stuff. If I'm dealing with government's month or the people's month, and God say you need to go to the temple, I go to the temple I have to deal with, or right before I deal with the people or the government. So whatever it is, the temple or the kingdom of religion or God, in a sense, will be always intertwined in it. So I guess that's why I never structured it. God, you see God working with me, God working through me and with me and in me through it all. But so let's break down the months. What I did was break up the year into trisects. Trisects is 3 equal parts. So it's 12 months, that's 4 months in each part, right? So I call them T1, T2, and T3. So trisect, so instead of quarters, because it'd be in 3 months each quarter, it'd be 4 months each trisect. And for the first month of each trisect would be the holiday or vacation. That's if it's structured, like if you're looking at January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, as in starting with the first month of the year, January. Because if it's in the middle of the year and we're in June, we are in the second trisect. And if we're looking at starting at that time, we are in the second trisect in the second month. So we're not starting with vacation in that month. So let's get back to the point. So for the first month of every trisect will be the holiday vacation month. That is time for myself and my family, recuperate, relax, and rest. Everyone needs rest. Everyone needs to relax and break. And that's something I want to implement in my businesses and structures and everything I do that is for me, and encourage. So I'm not forcing the masses to do it, but I will use myself, my businesses, and my people. So that's people who work for me as directly under my umbrella. My people know as the people I govern will be the extended umbrella, right? And they won't be as aggressively intertwined into all that I do, but they will be represented and protected nonetheless. But anyways, under the umbrella of the monarch, there'll be certain things that I would implement, for example, breaks, holidays, and so on, so to encourage this space of recuperation, recovery, rest, and an opportunity and ability to live. We are not created to work. We are created to be. We are human beings, not human workings, human living, not human stressing. We are human beings. We're supposed to be able to can be, and I know we have to work. However, we are not supposed to be living to work, but work to live. And where's the living part in this life that we are in right now? We are not, there's barely any living in the life that we have. And that's one of the things I'm starting to appreciate, because I've become accustomed to working that it feels unnatural to not work. And now that I'm becoming more, I'm breaking away from that custom to be more accustomed to not working, then I'm learning to just enjoy life, be in the present, that I'm starting to see that value and I want to bring that value to others. So even just rest and just sit down and not feel anxious about it, sit down. It's not going to kill you to sit down for one whole day and do nothing. It's not going to kill you. I'm not saying to sit for the whole rest of your life, but one day, the only time you get to sit down is when you're old and dusty. Sorry, I'm not saying everybody's old and crusty and dusty, but when we overwork ourselves, when we reach that point, we can't even, some of us can't even walk on the beach to take in the sunset. And some of us naturally will reach that point whether or not we get the break. So why not get the break while you're living? So that's the structure I want to create in my Monarch and businesses and more. And to start, I'm also going to apply it to myself. So the first month of every trisect, so that's January, May, and September, will be vacation and holiday month. I choose those time as well because my plan is when I'm on holidays different from my planned holiday. But we'll go into that structure in detail another time. Because now that we're going to break down, the next month of the trisect is business. So that's the second month of every trisect is for my business, my personal businesses, my spider web, everything that I'm responsible for helping my Monarch and more. Even if it benefits the country, but it's under my responsibility, that's where businesses fall under. I will deal with on the second month. Personally, put in the time and prioritize during the second month of each trisect. Now, the third month of each trisect will be what I would say for government. So, right now, as I am not officially queen of any country, that time be when I, lack of a better word, attack the government. And I don't give a shit. As in, I'm going to use this time to represent the people and tell them how fucked up they are and they need to fix the fuck up. And how fucked up whatever they're going to do. And every time they slip up, I'm going to be like, boom, bitch, fix that shit. And I'll prioritize it during that month. Yep. And I have plans. However, that's when I'm putting a lot of that effort into the third month of each trisect. So not next month, the month after. Let's specify the months for the businesses. That's the second month of every trisect. So that's February, June, and October. So businesses will be on February, June, and October. Now for the third trisect, which is for the government, that's March, July, and November. So July, they better start. If they don't ready to apply and start setting up to make me the head of state and my Monarch the head of state as queen, not president, but my Monarch as the head of state, then that's my plan. I don't care what they want to do, try to attack me. They have already attacked me already. I know how to give that shit back tenfold. And I'm backed by fucking God. So that means when I strike, that shit hits. But that's in July. And then the fourth month of each trisect, so that's April, August, and December, is for the people. And I strategically choose these months is because April is known to have Easter, and hopefully I have plans to make the coronation that month as well, and some other plans I have for April, August. So for example, Jamaica has Independence and Emancipation Month and long weekend and long holiday during that time period, and then December has Christmas and so on. So you have these major holidays that bring this break. So I want to be able to, whether it's now focus on the people, whether it's giving back or celebrating or just participating during that time and focus on the people I govern during that month. And if it's not just focus, it's also the break, that holiday, that rest that they will receive. They tend to receive during that time. So it would be best time if, for example, when I get my palace, when I build my palace and I want to create a Easter hunt or a celebratory dinner or festival or feast, and I want the people to come by to the palace free of charge, that's the best month to set it up, not to be on holiday, because then everybody's on holiday and I don't get to give, they don't get the time. If I choose another month, set of months, then they won't get the time to come and celebrate and feel that break and rest and enjoy what we've created together. Because we're building Jamaica. Jamaica is not a fucking brand. Because that's the next thing I grieve. Every time I hear on the TV, we need to, prioritize brand Jamaica. Jamaica is not a fucking brand. Jamaica is a people filled with blood, sweat, tears, their lives. It's not a product for consumption for the white bright lights or the people who are taking advantage of Jamaicans. Sorry, there are people with souls and lives and enjoyment that lives in the country that cannot even enjoy the country themselves. So it's not a fucking brand, it's people. And you need to start acknowledging that. Oh, sorry. I just remembered how triggered I was by that. And I want to be able to do that. We celebrate what Jamaicans, we have done together. Whether it's a lot or a little or just that we survived during these months. So if it's a party, it's a cookout, a feast, a fiesta, join some of the stuff. So for example, Demby Show or whatever it is during those months. Those are the months that I either would prioritize creating events and so on for Jamaicans to celebrate and participate, or I go to. So that's yes. So that's the plan. So for the next couple days, as I said, I'll be working on what I'm gonna do with my profiles. Okay. I don't know when God gonna deal with it for me to start, because now I have a tablet that is the iPad 2 Mini 2 that's outdated, but I've figured out how to keep it working. But the only charger I have broke, and so I can't even use that anymore because it doesn't even keep the charge. It has to be constantly charged while using it. I have a Samsung Alcatel that my parents gave me while I was in the nursing home. They locked me up in. That they also hack. As in, I know they hacked it because they gave me a brand new phone which was already open and it already started up. You know when it's set up? And there's a way you can root the phone so you can get information to hack the phone. And if it's not just that, they are hacking it, the military and more. Yeah, and then my laptop, the one I'm using a screen because the screen is still not repaired yet, and my Apple Care, forgot about Apple Care. It's about to, in a couple days, it's going to be expired. So yeah. So on top of the profiles that I'll be figuring out what I'm going to do, which profile to do what, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to execute it, because, it's going to be rough to start executing my job and structuring myself. So yeah, next month is business. I have a business email I need to deal with. And yeah, it's time to start.